Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, got a cracking video for you today. We do have Raid's favourite shard event dropping from tomorrow, which is the 2 times on Ancients, and it will come in line with the Champion Chase. What does that mean? A lot of people will be pulling Ancient shards. This video, I'm going to go through my top 5 legendaries, top 3 epics, and then I'll call out any decent rares for each faction. So it might be a long one. You might need a cup of tea, but you definitely should get involved. How do we know that it's Raid's favourite event? Well, we've got stats, right? So on hellhades.com, basically whenever this event is running, people come to hellhades.com, they go into the search and they start saying, you know, who's my champion? Let's say I just pulled a Phoenix. Are they any good? And they go into the champion page. And for every single champion in Raid, we have this page which talks through where we think they're strong in terms of ratings. We talk through what they would do in the arena. We show how they're performing in live arena in terms of pick, win, and ban rates. We talk about should they be booked, etc. So there's tons in here. There's a blurb about every champion. There's multipliers for how strong that champion is. We put masteries in for different areas of the game. We put blessings in, literally the lot. And if there's a video alongside this champion, like Phoenix here, we've got the video as well. As I say, how do we know that it's Raid's favorite time? Well, every time the 2 times event drops, since we started the website, we see a spike in traffic every 3 months when the 2 times Ancients is on. And, you know, it's a pretty big indicator to us. If you do get yourself over to hellhades.com, we do have a giveaway running right now for basically a free account, one of which has got Ninja on it. So if you're a newer player, you wouldn't have had the chance to get Ninja. Also, Ultimate Death Knight. There's also a prize to win some merch or a gear cleanse. So a gear cleanse from the HH Gaming Takeover team. So you can see the account that's up for grabs here. All you need to do is come and subscribe to these channels. If you're already subscribed and want to get involved, you literally just need to press the buttons. So you'd still get entries for this giveaway. So I'd like to thank Bloodline Heroes of Lethas for sponsoring this video. Bloodline's got one of the most unique gameplay mechanics we've seen in a game of this genre ever. It's a dark fantasy RPG, and you can create your own legendary champions by combining different bloodlines from elves, demons, demigods, orcs, dwarves, lycans, dragonborns, vampires, and more. And with its awesome air system, it takes gameplay to the next level in a gotcha environment. So Bloodline is totally free to play. You can download now using my link in the pinned comment or the description below, or you can click on the QR code, and it's available on Android or iOS. It's time to get involved. So the game's got amazing 3D graphics in this kind of like dark fantasy genre. Really up there amongst the best in this type of space. And as I said earlier, you can actually customize your own champion, your own legendary, by fusing together 2 different bloodlines and creating this new hybrid character. With this kind of new matchmaking, there's over 1,000 different hybrids you could create, basically giving you endless opportunities and strategy. Every 2 weeks, Bloodline drop new characters, new heroes to collect, and that can range from the goat folk all the way up to the 9-tailed female warrior. If PvP is your thing, then don't worry, Bloodline's got you covered here. There's actually seasonal guild wars where you're going up against another guild, and if you fight and win in this type of game mode, you win uniquely designed hybrid champions that you could craft into Bloodline Legends. So don't forget, download now, use my link down below, or click on the QR code and you'll get yourself that nice starter pack worth 20 bucks. Also, the first 30 people that comment down below under my pinned comment, and it has to be a new account with your player ID, will win a new legendary champion, a new orc called Ugrel. Thank you again, Bloodline, for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to it. Anyway, let's get into the best champions. I'm going to kick off from the bottom here. We're going to kick off with Sylvan Watchers. Top 5 legendaries. Let's go. Elva easily in the top 5. She brings block debuffs and increased speed. She brings revives. She brings healing. Really, really solid carry legendary. Because of her speed aura as well and her block debuffs, she's actually really useful in some clan boss speed tunes, as in fast ones. But fantastic arena champion. Great in multitude of content, really fast. Great champion. Second one to call out here will be Emic. Emic currently is a fusion champion, and a lot of people are going to be picking him up. But because of his unkillable buff, he is capable of speed tuning into really good clan boss unkillable teams, and he is going to be good for live arena. He's not the best champion in the game by any stretch, but he is very, very valuable. Brings cooldown reduction in this skill here. I'm starting to see some good teams with Maneater. I'm starting to see some budget teams popping up. So yeah, he will definitely have his value over time in Clan Boss. Outside of that, we've got a lot of okay legendaries, honestly. Alil does a decent amount of damage, but not top tier. You've got good healing and support from Awella, but not top tier. So I would say really there's not many others that I want to call out as like top tier legendaries yet. Lady of Aerith, again, good champion, but not crazy good. In the epics here, my standout for this faction by quite a long way actually, Creodan is brilliant. He's got this AoE freeze ability, which is brilliant. He's got freezes on his A1 as well. Comes in very nice for crowd control and Fire Knight hard. And he does bring a speed buff as well. Really like this champion. It's also been like a super carry in my faction war team. Daithe's the other one. AoE drop defense on a 4-turn, but he gets extra turns going off on his skills. He hits hard. He's got cool kits. And he's got this extra turn mechanic going on all over the place. Just means that he can be pumping out a lot of damage. Good damage dealer. The third one I'm going to call out from this faction is going to be Nia. Could have definitely called out Ruella as a good one as well. But Nia, I think, is the third in the top 3 because she brings such a unique kit. But ally protection and strengthen on a 3-turn. Super good for Hydra, super good for Clan Boss. Good for Faction Wars as well. And then she brings this cooldown reduction ability on her A2, which will cool down the leader's skills by 2 turns. Really, really great ability. However, if someone else is taking damage, she will revert that ability onto the person who's low health. So it's hard to speed tune with her, but she is a great champion. She's also got an AoE decreased speed and some extra healing going on here. A call out for rares. Actually, this faction's got good rares. Turlak's solid, Not is solid as well. Both of them actually pretty good for Faction Wars if you need that support. Shadowskin then. Top 5 legendaries. Oh, this is hard. In terms of number 1, probably just Yumiko. Yumiko is kind of busted, especially if you've got 2, because she does a reduced cooldown of all skills by 3 turns for your whole team, whilst locking out enemy skills. Great in the arena. Honestly, if you've got 2 of her, she resets herself, which means that between them, they're resetting everything. I mean, it's beyond broken. They're literally breaking the game when you've got 2 of these. But even just 1 makes her insanely strong because of this skill. She's also putting a Hex out there, which is like basically messing around with people's chances to debuff you. And yeah, it's nutty. Her kit is absolutely crazy, top tier. Like almost anywhere in the game. Another one to call out here is Harima. Brilliant arena champion. For live arena, she's a must if you've got her. She's just so good, mainly because her passive reduces the chance that enemy are going to ignore your defense. And that's so rife in the game right now. This is such a solid passive. She also hits very hard with an AoE hit with a provoke. And she's got this triple hit here, which will just hit through, someone like a Rotas very easily while she's stacking more defense up. She hits incredibly hard. So she's very good in Clan Boss and a whole bunch of other areas as well. The third one I'm going to call out here is Missionarchy. Missionarchy is just like king of damage. Hydra, Clan Boss. Basically, again, his passive, his ability to join an attack if Hex is out there, and then his A1 she joins with is a burn attack. Makes him very strong. Also brings drop defense and attack on the same skill, and this AoE Hex. So yeah, Missionarchy easy in that top group. Lady Kimmy, I think, is in that top group as well. She's like the speed manipulator, buff manipulator, really solid, fastest champion in the game. She's bringing increased accuracy and speed for you whilst removing an enemy's buff, and also hitting the whole enemy team and putting decreased accuracy and decreased speed on them as well. Arena, Hydra, general content, wave content, live arena especially, she's super annoying. 5th one's hard here because there's a lot of good ones. Ninja, super good. Probably is the 5th one, but I'm going to ignore Ninja because not everyone has got him. Jintoro's super good for Clan Boss. Genzin's actually coming into his own for Hard Fire Knight now. Kyoku's very good. But my 5th one's going to be Riho. So I just feel like she has become more and more important as content has dropped. She's got this full cleanse ability, plus puts block debuffs out there, and heals such a great A3 on a 3-turn. A massive heal as well. And she's got this, like, I'm going to land every single debuff on you ability on the A2, which becomes increasingly powerful on the new bosses that we're fighting. She's also got this passive where she cannot receive debuffs. They'll instantly go back. So someone like a Kaimar, she counters. Someone like a Hedgie, she counters. Really, really good champ. Let's get on to the epics then. Top 3 in the epics. My top 1 is going to be Taragi. Just super good clan boss champion. He's mainly clan boss, honestly, but his kit is so good. Ally protect, reflect damage. When I'm hit, I'm putting poisons out there. I'm shielding the team. This A3 is a legendary ability. Yeah, the A2 is an AoE provoked, which is good for other areas of the game, but this is what it's for in terms of clan boss. And you've got decrease attack, brilliant clan boss ability as well if you're not running unkillables. And then when he's hit, we're going to put poisons out there as well. Taragi is definitely up there as my favorite epic in this group. Second one I'm going to call out here this might get contentious really, but Hatatsu is someone that was unsung for me for a long time. But what a great kit. Leech ability, AoE drop attack, increased defense for your team on a 3-turn with heals, and then a nice passive as well. So Hatatsu's in the top 3 for me. And then to go in a different direction here, for my third one, I'm going to call out Genbo, who's just a straight-up arena nuker, does a lot of damage, and has got the ability to hit through people that have got unkillable buffs, which I guess it's not as important as it used to be because Swift Parry is not as used as it used to be. But there's still some very meta champions out there with unkillable abilities that you can just clean off. Don't need resistance if you get if you crit, which you're definitely going to do. And yeah, this guy just hits really hard and he's a great champion. As I said, I'm only going to call out rares if I think they're really good. I don't think any of these are really good. Dwarves then, top 5. Easily top 1 is Acrizia. Wow, these dwarves are super sick, by the way. Acrizia, everything enemy max HP, boss killer, game killer. But the only thing she doesn't do top tier is arena. She's got AoE enemy max HP skills. She's got turn meter control. She's got inbuilt mechanics to stay alive. Like, she is just god tier. Newt, recent champion drop, absolutely god tier as well. Triple hit enemy max HP. He's defense based, which makes him hard to kill. He's got AoE drop attack and weaken. He's got a brilliant A1, very imaginative A1, which makes him super good for Fire Knight. And yeah, and a cool passive as well. Yeah, Newt easily in the top 5 for this faction. I think Trunda is still in the top 5. Okay, she still is super high damage. She does insane things against Hydra. In fact, like stupid things with the new Clash stuff that's going on. She has got 2 big AoE smacks on her A1 and her A2. And yeah, she's borderline broken. She doesn't fit the arena meta right now like she used to, which is why she's not talked about in the same way, but she's still incredibly high damage. So Trunda is in the top 5. Another one in the top 5 is Brogni. Does things other champions cannot do. He's got this ability to grow the value of shields, which makes him in the clan boss world record team, now hitting billions of damage with the crazy comps that the Super Krakens are running. Really insane. But he's also just generally good, right? So in any content, 2-turn block debuff, increase attack for your team, shielding your team, the shield can't be wiped away. Yeah, burns as well. He's brilliant almost anywhere in the game. Even in live arena, because the shield can't be removed and he does reflected damage back to the attacker on people that have got a shield, actually you can one-shot nukers using Brogni in live arena, which is pretty fun. So yeah, Brogni is the 4th one. The 5th one for me becomes a little bit more difficult. Tormin is very good. Morley is very good. In Hydra, she's extremely good. But for me, 5th one's going to be Herndig here. Very high damage. AoE drop defense and accuracy. AoE weaken and burns. Like, he's got so much going on in his kit. And he's got this kind of like reset ability as well when he starts to kill people with his A1. So if he kills someone and he's locked out of his abilities, he can go again, and all the time he's reducing the cooldown here of Stasis Strike to get back in the game with the big nukes. So yeah, he's actually a really, really good legendary. In terms of epics then, top 3, Geo, easily the best, right? Absolutely, he's a legendary champion, this guy. He's in a lot of the best teams in the game for high-end content. His A3, which puts out a burn and weaken, is one of the best abilities in the game. When paired with his passive, whenever anybody hits anyone in your team, when they've got this burn on them, they've got a chance to take these mini War Master procs of damage. It's a 3% max HP hit. So even against really high-level bosses with massive defense, etc., it still does colossal amounts of damage. Also got a buff steel A2, AoE accuracy drop on the A1. Really, really solid. So yeah, easily the best one, like by a long way. Dimitha, though, creates unkillable teams with just a rare champion alongside her, Heiress, which is super cool. She's got this unkillable block damage ability here. Again, she's in a lot of the best clan boss teams in the game. That's her main use. She is okay in other places with this kind of like buff duration extend and heal, but generally she is a clan boss champion. So that's the top two. Third one on my list here becomes way more difficult. There's a few good ones now. So Ishbal here is, I think, up there because of her ability to destroy Bommel. But you do need either a Nishak alongside her or really a couple of copies of her at least to get that going. Gala is used in some high-level arena kind of stuff as basically like single-target nukers, which is good. Cornelia is capable, she's probably the third one for me, really. She's just capable of soloing so many Doom Tower bosses. It's extremely slow. I did this on my free-to-play. A lot of the fights are like 15 to 20 minutes, okay? But she's extremely different from any other champion in the game, and she makes solo content very viable. She's got this sleep ability on her A3. Basically, she puts a sleep on an ally, which could be herself, heals that ally by 50% of their health, and fills their turn meter by 50% whenever it gets expired, or basically she's hit. Yeah, so she gets a massive heal and a turn meter fill. It's really, really good. She's also got AoE sleep on her A2. Yeah, just unexpectedly a brilliant champion, and speed in all battles as well. In terms of rares here, there's a ton of rares on this faction. The one I would call out as like a game changer, really, certainly for early level accounts, Master Butcher. Very good against the Magma Dragon because he's got 2 provoke abilities. He's also very good against Bommel because of his passive, certainly early on. He's got this ability to revive someone when they're killed, and he's got this ability to heal all allies equal to the amount of damage taken. So if you think about one of those bombs exploding, that counts. Yeah, when a Bommel bomb explodes, he gives everyone in his team a massive heal, which could be the difference between you doing like the early levels of Bommel or not. Very, very solid. And his provokes are also pretty good for Hydra, the head of Decay, in terms of keeping some control there as well. So that's the only one really that I would call out as a kind of like top tier. On to Night Revs. So top 5 legendaries here. I mean, the number one for me is Theodore. Just capable of doing so much in PvE content. He's in most of the fastest runs that exist in dungeons like Dragon, Ice Golem. He's actually in some incredibly fast runs for Fire Knight normal, like level 25 stuff. He's just a brilliant, brilliant champion. So he's got this increase the duration of all poisons and burns by a turn, then instant activation of those poisons and burns. It's just a massive tick of damage if you set it up in the right way. Certainly pairing with a burner and another poisoner. He's got the A2, which puts out the poisons himself, also pumps his own speed up and your whole team's. And then he's got decreased speed on the A1 on an AoE as well. Got some sort of inbuilt passive for resistance, but he's just a brilliant, brilliant champion. And actually, if you pair him alongside one of the other great champions in this faction, Calvalax, then you've got some silly stuff going on. Calvalax has got the ability to just put poisons out on all enemies at the start of a round. And then he can extend those as well with his A1. He's got an enemy max HP AoE hit on his A2. And then he's got a big hit on his on his A3. And then his A2 is a big hit as well. Speed in all battles. Brilliant, brilliant legendary. Shorjid is in here as one of the best nukers in the arena. Loves to smile. Give us a smile. Here it comes. It's a slow one. Anyway, he's able to nuke through some of the worst things in the game. So basically, he decreases the turn rate of all targets by 30%, which can't be resisted on an AoE smack here. And then he's got the ignore, stone skin, strengthen, unkillable, block damage, pretty much all of the nasty stuff and shields on his A3. So he can one-shot anyone in the game. You know, normally the person who's protected by a Necrit or someone like that, and then he can come in and just smack down everybody else as well. He's just a super hard hitter. He's got this repeater chance on his A1 as well. Yeah, awesome, awesome champion. And then it's a 50-50 as to whether he ignores defense of the champion that he's fighting. So he just comes in with the absolute cannon, the absolute smacks to take people down. Another champion to call out here in a different way, Walking Tomb Dreng. AoE HP burn, which cannot be resisted. Super strong. Plus a big heal as well. And he's got the instant activation of burn on the A1. This kind of combination here makes him super quick at killing stuff like endgame Ice Golem. Also in some of the quick farm teams for Sand Devil as well. So again, there's a lot of decent ones here. You know, to call out Thea, one of the hardest hitters in the game, but needs some setup. Gaius does some really cool stuff with bombs. In fact, I think I'm going to have him as my number 5, but Tomb Lord's great. Hedge is great. Solus is great as well. It's very difficult, but I'm going to go with Gaius just because, again, he does something which no one else in the game can do. He's a really good counter to Stoneskin in the arena. He's got the ability to put bombs on all enemies and put them to sleep at the same time. You won't sleep through Stoneskin, but you can get the 2-turn bombs away. And if they go off, he should kill everybody in the game. What is cool, though, is if you pair it with his passive that instantly detonates all bombs on all enemies whenever he is killed, then, you know, you build him high attack to get high-level bombs away. He's pretty squishy. Get your bombs away, and then if he dies, great. All of the enemy team dies as well. For epics here, there's actually quite a lot of what I would class as quite average epics. My call out as the best one in this faction is actually Doom Priest. Because of a passive ability, I find myself reverting back to using Doom Priest more and more often because we just get debuffs on us so often. You know, she makes clan boss affinity friendly with the right speed tuning. She just removes the stun, removes the decreased speed from spirit affinity. She ends up being really solid for that. She's great in Hydra to heal your team whilst cleansing debuffs away. She's great in Doom Tower, a lot of the bosses there. She's just like a no frills, brilliant champion for me. There's a few other ones in here as well. So Whisper, I'm going to call out. I personally don't use Whisper, but Saf has kind of converted me into this, you know, Whisper is a god mode damage boss killer. When it comes to just straight up hit damage, not enemy max HP, that type of stuff, she does a lot of work, and she can actually start to trigger extra turns with her abilities as well with the right setup. So definitely seeing her used in either low level Sand Devil or actually the new boss, the Phantom boss. So Whisper, worth a shout out. We've also got Skullcrown in this list, who's just a high damage arena champion. That's where she lives, really. Big AoE hits on her A2 and her A1, high damage, and she's got this inbuilt unkillable buff as well. She's also got speed in the arena, which makes her really nice for early player kind of arena action. You definitely could have called out on a similar level of quality. Sinacia is very good. Tylesia, very good. Sepulchre, good early game clan boss champion, but falls off. Rector Draff, great reviver and healer. Miscreated Monster, great for early game Spider. So there's a lot in here which are decent. In terms of rares, there's actually a couple in this faction to call out. Renegade is quite an end game rare. She does the reset ability on her A3. This is what she's all about. She's in a lot of teams as you kind of run late into the game to do that reset. She's basically a mini Kymar. And Coffin Smasher is a very good early game rare for clan boss because he's bringing a very consistent decrease attack on his A1, and he's bringing a burn with some passive damage reduction as well. Okay then, Dark Elves. Top 5 legendaries here. I'm going to kick off with the champion you get from Fleeting Faction was, right? Lydia is just so good right the way through the game. I still use her in a lot of my teams, certainly for Doom Tower. She's a pivotal point. AoE drop defense and weaken on an ability whilst giving your team increased speed and strengthen. It's so good. Great in clan boss. Great for any content in the game. That's it. She's great for any content in the game. And she comes into super endgame type of strats when you use her in arena with her passive. So, you know, this ability to deny revive attempts is very, very strong in the current meta. Also good in some of the hard Doom Tower waves when you're trying to kill Torments and stuff like that. So yeah, very, very strong ability here. She brings block buffs as well. Good in Hydra. Just generally a great champion. Another one in the mix here. I'm going to call out another freebie. Mithrala. What a brilliant champion she is from Hydra fragments. And yeah, again, you've got increased defense and attack whilst putting a Hex out there. Full wild cleanse whilst giving you strengthen and shieldage. Great in Hydra. Great for just pretty much any content arena. Loads of content that she will be super strong in. Third one I'm going to call out here is Xavia. So Xavia, in the right situation, can be an absolute beast. So she's got this ability to detonate poison, basically. All poison debuffs just get popped If you run her with champions like Calvalax, we spoke about already, big poisoners, Taurus, there's a whole bunch of them that throw out a load of poison. She will pop all of the poison at once, and anyone that she kills is block revived. So this is mainly for wave clearing at speed if you don't have like seer comps, but also great in the arena as well. So yeah, Zarvia up there as a top tier champion. Ghostborn is another one, unsung hero of this faction. It's got AoE drop defense and increase attack for your team. The drop defense cannot be resisted. Makes it really consistent when you're trying to get consistent teams for wave clearing for PvE content. Also good in the arena as well. And he's got another AoE hit here, which is not bad as well. Good speed, good stats. Ghostborn's up there. The fifth one for me for this faction is tough because Lanicus is good. You've got Vizier is good in the right situation. You know, people like Supreme Kale, great. Visix actually great. Astrolith, very niche in high-end arena trying to take down Stoneskin teams. Super good. But for me, I'm going to call out Ray. She's not in endgame teams, okay? But if you pull her as a kind of normal player, she's got an absolute cannon of an A3, which removes all buffs and puts freeze on the enemies as well. And then she's got one of the hardest hitting abilities in the game if debuffs are out there on the A2. She's out of the meta in terms of arena and stuff because, you know, Polymorph stopped people using debuffs and, you know, made her kind of more difficult to use. And she's got no inbuilt survivability. So you have to bring a way to keep her alive. But if you can get her hitting with this A2, she does colossal damage. On to the epic champions then. So I've got Dark Kale waiting to be pulled. And he is in my top 3. I've got him ready for champion chase, actually. He's a bit of a mini Theodore, I guess. He's got this A2, attacks all enemies, puts out decreased attack. Each crit has got the chance of increasing the duration of debuffs. And then he's got poisons and poison sensitivity on the A3. But it's the A1 here. So triple hit. Each hit has got a chance to instantly activate poison and burn. So you pair him with a burner as well. And he's doing tons of damage to bosses in content, which is hard to do content fast. He speeds it up a lot. Passive as well, that he will stop your team taking crits in PvE. He hits hard. Great epic champion. I'm still going to call out Madame in this group. So she's used less because of Polymorph, but still she's one of the best arena champions in the game for like the average player. She cleans all buffs away from the enemy and then replaces it with decreased defense and attack. Still incredibly valuable in pretty much any area of the game. High level Doom Tower waves, she's really strong. A third one here, honestly, there's not that many others which jump out as like top tier champions. Rian is good. Visionary is not bad. Spider, not bad. I think if I had to call out a third one, it would be Sylar for her turn meter control and her ability to control enemy waves. But honestly, none of them sort of stand out as like a must call out this champion. In terms of the rares, we've got our starter in terms of Kale, who's good. Judge is actually good when it comes to some of the real late game secret room stuff. But I mean, we've got the obvious ones in here. Cold Heart with the enemy max HP hit, still used in endgame content. Painkeeper with her ability to cool down abilities on her A3, used in quite late game content. And Paragon, the Cheese Meister himself, one of the best ways to get through Nightmare campaign. So yeah, quite a few good rares in this one. On to the Undeads then. Top legendary champions. Damn, there's a lot of great champions here. A lot of great arena champions here, actually. Necret, I think, is the most game-changing arena champion that you could get. You know, in terms of being able to survive stuff, he's insane. Yeah, with his ability to basically passively put out a block debuff, strengthen, and ally protect. And then if that person is hit, applies a massive shield to that champion. He can also reapply it to someone else as well. Anyone who's got these buffs will come in as an ally attack with his A2. He's just a brilliant legendary champion. Another one we're going to call out here is the most annoying arena champion in the game, Ultimate Death Knight. But he's also one of the best arena defense champions that you could own. Yeah, he's just got this ability passively to basically anyone who's doing a single target hit, it's as if you're hitting him. Yeah, so any big hitters coming in single target, it will redirect to Ultimate Death Knight. So you can build him very slow in Stoneskin. He's very annoying. He does bring some nice shieldage as well. He's just very hard to deal with. So Ultimate Death Knight's in there. Probably the person who he counters the most in the game is also in there. So Rotus. Rotas has been nerfed a couple of times throughout his life in Raid. He's still one of the best arena champions, especially Arena Live. Very good in Arena Live. But he's got this A3, which just hits like an absolute cannon. And if he kills someone, he goes again. He's got an A2, which pumps his health up, keeps him alive. And he's got an A1 with a chance for an extra turn mechanic as well, just to kind of snowball turns. He's also got this passive where if he takes more than half of his health as damage, he stops taking damage and goes. This can be the difference between a win and a loss in live arena. So yeah, for me, he's easily in the top 5 for this faction. Sifi, his bride's got to be top 5 as well. Just so good. Again, live arena, most content in the game, she's going to be good. She's got brilliant A2 with all of the buffs dropping on your team. Speeding them up, giving them block debuffs for 2 turns, which is very valuable as a skill. And then she's got this, the fly zapper on the A1, which will sleep anyone with high turn meter as long as they don't have block debuff. No accuracy required. Full passive as well with the general heal going off. So yeah, Sifi in the top 5. The other one here, again, there's lots of good call-outs, honestly. Euros is great. Little Miss Annie is actually good in Sand Devil. Like, very, very good for, I guess, lower levels of Sand Devil. I do use her now. Bad L, good for solo content. Nephril, good at control. The one I'm going to call out as the 5th one here is Mishold, who is a bit of a game changer when it comes to Hydra and potentially some clan boss stuff. Also very good in the arena. He's got this increased speed and crit damage ability, putting out True Fear and Leech on the enemies, and then goes again. Yeah, and that's the important part. The extra turn mechanic just means that his cooldowns are super low. His A1 as well hits anybody that's got Leech on them, and it counts as a single target hit. So when you've got things like Hydra reducing the damage of AoEs, or Duchess reducing AoE damage, all of that type of stuff, this will not be reduced and it hits hard. We've got buff still here as well. Just generally a great champion. In terms of the epics here, Seeker is my top 1. Similar to Mishold, actually. He's got this increased turn meter feel with extra turn. Makes him able to build some of the best clan boss teams in the game. Yeah, it's fact. Some of the best in the game, and he's an epic. He also hits very hard with this A1. So yeah, really, really good. In the arena, if you put him high in your turn order, as soon as he takes a crit, he spreads increased defense to the rest of your team, which should mean that they can survive a hit, which again is a great mechanic on his passive here. Second one for me in this faction is Vogoth, one of the best tanks stroke healers in the game in terms of like passive healing. So when you're taking damage, he's got this ability to heal for a percentage of the damage. Great for Bommel, great in the arena. Actually good for general content, honestly. And then the third one I'd call out here is Husk. Brilliant champion now. Mainly Hydra champion. So he's got this enemy max HP AoE here. He's got a provoke on his A1. You turn off his A3. And you just either have him provoking or smacking against Hydra. And in terms of the rares of this faction, I mean, Frozen Banshee's a great early game poisoner for clan boss. Really good. You've got Corpulent Cadaver in here, who is the clan boss god. Only in a specific team, with Brogni doing the Infinity Shields. Outside of that, basically a trash champion. Say outside of that, but he's doing the same thing now in Hydra. But still, it's a very specific team that makes that work. Let's move on to the Demons then. Demonspawns have got brilliant, brilliant champions, okay? Top 5 in Legendaries is hard here because you've got Duchess easily in the mix. One of the best champions in the whole game. Block debuffs increase attack. Perfect Veil means you take less damage. A passive means you take less damage. Full team revive. Just a brilliant champion. Best spot is the arena, but she's brilliant almost anywhere. Hydra, she's extremely high value as well. She's one of the few champions that blocks the Head of Torment getting into action. Kaimar, king of the resets. So he's a bit like Yumiko. Got the ability to reset every champion's abilities. So he tends to be in speed farm teams where you do something with the whole team, you reset it, and then you do it again. It's fantastic. He's also got a full buff cleanse ability on his A2 whilst putting people to sleep. Great for the arena. Just generally a great champion. Another one I'm going to call out here is Sakia, who I do not have. Again, it's a burn activator. So she puts out burns on her A3 for 3 turns, which is very, very long. And then provided she burns everybody, she then gets to go again, and she goes into the A2 where she can put out drop defense and weaken and instantly pop all burns that are out there. Makes her extremely valuable and very high damage in the right sort of PvE type settings. Heffrack, absolute smack of this guy in the arena. He's also got a passive that if someone on your team dies, he does the absolute smack and doesn't put it on cooldown. So you can actually do this, kill people, and then do it again when it's his turn. Really, really fun champion to get. Very high damage. He's also got self-buffing as well, which is great in live arena, honestly, because the less champions you need to bring in to do stuff to make your team good, the more spots you've got to keep them alive. So him being able to self-buff, then just go straight away again, does mean that he's able to do his A2 without the need of like an Arbiter or someone. It also helps you reduce the cooldowns, right? So it's on a 3-turn cooldown. If you don't need to do it straight away and then can go into do it, then go into this, get an extra turn, you get back to this more quickly. So the extra turn mechanics are actually really, really solid. I mean, honestly, it's so hard to choose between some of these. Countess Lix, brilliant. Candy, brilliant. Drex, brilliant. Withir, great support. Mortu, great in the arena. Like, so many good ones. But my fifth one here is going to be Helicaf because he enables Clan Boss so easily. Yeah, his block damage ability is brilliant. Enables Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss with super comfortable teams. Really easy teams. He's also brilliant in live arena. He's brilliant in the right sort of teams against Iron Twins. And generally will carry your account anywhere in the game. So, yeah, Helicaf, super solid. In terms of epics here, then, top 3. I mean, I've got to say, there's a lot of epics in here. Not that many which are what I would call like god tier. I really like Achak. I love his freeze ability on his A3. And he's got strengthen and block debuffs as well on his A2. But the thing which I really love about him is his passive. So when there's burns going off and freezes going off, he's giving your whole team a load of turn meter and healing, which for an epic champion is great. Magnar is one of the best damage dealers for an HP-based champion. Got an A3, which spreads debuffs if burns are out there, but his A2 is where the damage comes from. It hits all enemies, and as long as there's not burns out there, he'll hit them all twice, and it does just a colossal amount of damage if you build him right. So yeah, Magnar up there in terms of top 3 for me. I mean, again, Akoff, good champion you get from Doom Tower. Very early HP burner. Allure, great for turn meter. I'm a recent admirer of Skimfoss, honestly. He's going to be my third one here because I got him on the free-to-play and he just does so much work for me with this A3 ability. So he transfers all debuffs from himself, then attacks, steals the target's turn meter if it's a crit. So not only is he dropping the enemy's turn meter to 0, he's also getting a load of turn meter himself to get back to this ability very fast. His A1 drops speed, so the synergy there is really nice as well. And then he's got this AoE decrease attack and transfers debuffs from him to enemies. Really, really like this champion. As I say, though, easily could have been a lore. Her A1's one of the best turn meter drop abilities in the game. Especially good against Dark Fae and earlier level Fire Knight stuff. In terms of rares here, I mean, you've got some fun synergy between Houndspawn and Hellfang. Fellhound is a great campaign farmer, but not, nothing too crazy, honestly, because so many people could do it. So yeah, probably no one there that would be like a must build. Orcs, top 5. Let's start with just an absolute god. Warlord, brilliant in the arena. Got a full lockout ability. I use him in live arena a ton, and he's very, very nasty to deal with. He's almost like a must-ban, must-pick type of champion. So yeah, Warlord locks out the enemy skills. He brings nice healing and block debuffs as well. And then if you use him outside of the arena, this ability to try and decrease turn meter against the whole enemy team is also nice. And his A1 chance of increasing debuffs is good for like Clan Boss as you're building up your teams. Other great champions in here. Artak, I mean, we got him as a freebie. Anyone who's watching this that missed that, super unlucky because he is so good. Yeah, AoE HP burn on his A2. He's got the ability to instantly activate burns on his A2. Sorry, A3 was where the burn goes. A2 is where he activates, whilst giving you decreased attack as well, and the ability to extend it. He just speeds up a lot of content with this burn mechanic. Great in Hydra, great in Spider, great in Ice Golem. Really good in a lot of Doom Tower stuff as well. So yeah, I love this champion. Really, really solid. Another one in this group then is going to be Kreela. She comes in as a brilliant ally attack champion. She does need to be booked because they've kind of screwed you over with the bookage here on the A2. But the cool thing about her is she's bringing not only the ally attack ability, but also a load of really strong buffs. And she hits hard on the A2 and the A3. So yeah, really cool champion. Easy in my top 5 for this group. Okay, let's talk epics then. So we've got Seer coming in easily as the best epic in this faction, but also probably one of the best in the entire game. She's got this A3, which removes all buffs from your team and enemy teams if you've got accuracy as well. But she will do more damage based on the amount of buffs that are removed to a colossal level. I've seen her hit for over 3 million on every single target. Not that you need to, but she can do it. She's absolutely insane. Also brings AoE weaken, which is cool. A chance of an extra turn on the A1, which actually is kind of nice because the A3 is on a long cooldown. You do need reset champions to make her really effective to do this on multiple waves in a row. But really, really great champion. So Seer's number 1. Tolth is definitely not in the mix. Absolutely shocking champion. But yeah, other champions here to kind of stand out to me. Duke the Pierced is top draw. I did a video about the Stag Knight just a couple of days ago, and Duke is basically the Stag Knight Mark II. Very, very solid A2 ability here. AoE drop attack and defense is such a good skill, and it's on a 3-turn cooldown, 100% chance to land. Really, really great skill when we're talking wave killing, when we're talking bosses where you want that decreased attack to definitely go on, like Ice Golem. Good in Clan Boss, good as a general champion. Also good in Hydra because of this ability mapped with a definite provoke against the Head of Decay. And then he's got decreased accuracy on the A1 as well. High defense, decent enough damage. He's in my top 3. Outside of that, there's a lot of okay epics in the mix here. I would say, Tador and Trumbor are probably my 2 favorites. Maybe Zardala as well. And Sandlash. You've got like 4, which I think are all very good. I will actually pick as my kind of top 3 Sandlash Survivor, but easily could have picked any of those other couple that I just spoke about there. Sandlash, though, quite a simple kit, good defense, the ability to extend the duration of your buffs is the main thing that you would use her for. Also decreases enemy buffs at the same time. So in a Clan Boss team, if you're trying to do a speed tune, this type of ability is really, really powerful. She's also got... This is a great kind of arena stroke Clan Boss ability as well. So a passive, when someone goes below 50% health, she throws out ally protection to protect the team from damage, but she also puts block damage on herself so that she will not die. Super clutch, actually. It's a really, really great passive. Provoke on the A1 as well, not bad. But yeah, either arena or Clan Boss, Sandlashed is really strong. In terms of the rares here, Ironclad's a fun rare. Does damage through overheals on him, which is quite nice to play around with. But again, it's quite niche, quite niche type of stuff, but can be good in secret rooms. Got Gaelic here as a starter who's okay. No one else really worth shouting out. So look, I think what we're going to do, because this video is going long, that is part 1 done and dusted. Part 2, we're going to do Skinwalkers through to Bannerlords as well. But yeah, there you go, guys. Don't forget to hit the sub if you haven't already. Up in Hell Hades. I'll see you later.